Welcome to an introduction of how to set up a temporary food booth, presented by the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare Food Protection Program. In this video, we'll go over some of the requirements and provide some tips on how to run a food booth safely. Using this video as a guide will allow you to pass your food safety inspection without any problems. In order to operate a temporary food booth, you must apply for a temporary food permit with your local public health district. For licensing timelines, the state rule requires submission of your application 30 days before your event. In order to obtain a permit, you must be operating in conjunction with a single event or celebration. For example, fairs, festivals, farmers markets, concerts, trade shows, and auctions. There's no exhaustive list, so speak with your public health district if you have questions. Your food booth should have weatherproof overhead coverage. If possible, there should be only one open side allowed for customer service. Be mindful of where you set your booth up to protect from pests, weather, and other environmental factors. For example, setting up your food booth on a dirt floor or next to horse stables should be avoided. In arranging your booth, try to create some space between the food preparation area and where customers pay for and receive their food. Your booth should consist of separate stations. Our first station is the hand washing station. At a minimum, you need to have a 5-gallon thermal container with a spigot that provides a continuous flow of warm water. A push-button spigot is not acceptable. You'll also need liquid hand soap, paper towels, and a 5-gallon bucket to collect wastewater. Remember, wastewater must be discarded in a sanitary manner. No dumping in streets or on the ground. Also, keep in mind that you may need to periodically change out or add hot water to maintain warm water in your container. Cold water for hand washing is not acceptable. Disposable gloves and/or clean utensils must be available in your booth to prevent bare hand contact of ready-to-eat foods. The next station is our dishwashing facilities. All utensils must be washed, rinsed, and sanitized in 3 compartments or tubs. The process includes washing dirty utensils in hot soapy water, rinsing in hot water, and then sanitizing in the final tub. Your utensils should soak in your sanitizing tub for at least 10 seconds before you remove them. Do not use a towel or any form of fabric to dry utensils. You should have a rack for air drying your sanitized utensils. For the sanitizing tub, it's recommended that you use regular unscented bleach. The goal is to achieve concentration of 50 to 100 parts per million. Test strips are required to determine your concentration. Here's an example of a test strip and where on the scale your solution needs to be. A separate bucket of sanitizer for rinsing and storing wiping cloths used to clean counters and other items is required. Solutions should be changed every 1 to 2 hours throughout the day. If you have pressurized water supplied to your booth, fixtures must be protected from cross connections to prevent pollutants or contaminants entering the safe drinking water system. In addition, a drinking water hose like this one is required. The hose must be clearly marked for drinking water use. The next station is cold holding. Mechanical refrigeration is recommended. However, a cooler filled with ice from an approved source, like a grocery store, is most common. Whichever cold holding unit you decide to use in your booth, it must maintain food at a temperature of 41 degrees Fahrenheit or less, and your cold holding unit must be supplied with an ambient air thermometer. If you have raw meat and ready-to-eat foods, they need to be stored in such a way to prevent cross-contamination. This cooler has a basket that allows for the storage of ready-to-eat foods above the raw meat. It's recommended to have separate coolers if you don't have enough space to safely separate items. The next station is the hot holding or cooking equipment station. You must have adequate cooking equipment that can heat food to a minimum cook temperature as required in the Idaho Food Code. Crock pots and steam tables should not be used for cooking or reheating foods, only for hot holding. If you are hot holding food, your equipment must be able to maintain food at or above 135 degrees Fahrenheit and have a cover. If you're transporting hot food from a commissary, it must be in a durable, insulated container that can maintain a temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. A metal stem thermometer must be available in the booth to measure food temperatures. Our final station is garbage disposal. You must have a trash container with a tight-fitting lid for your garbage. As we come to the end of our video, we have a few reminders. Number 1, you must have your food booth completely set up before any food prep begins on site. Number 2, booth floors may be set up on concrete, asphalt, or dirt or gravel. If it's covered with mats, removable platforms, duct boards, or other approved materials that are effectively treated to control dust and mud. Number 3, no food can be prepared or stored off-site unless approved by the local public health district through a commissary agreement. Number 4, food and water must come from an approved source. If you buy all of your product from a grocery store, you won't have anything to worry about. Number 5, bleach, detergents, other chemicals, and cleaning supplies must be stored in a separate area away from food prep. Number 6, if you are operating at night, you must have adequate lighting over your food prep areas. Number 7, eating, drinking, or using tobacco is not allowed in food preparation areas and should be done only in designated locations. And number 8, bare hand contact with ready-to-eat food is not allowed. Suitable utensils such as deli tissues, spatulas, tongs, or single-use gloves must be used. Thank you for watching this video. We wish you the best with your temporary food establishment. For additional information, visit the website below.